Welcome to Wettie. So you're looking at getting a package, either getting into freediving or snorkeling or getting into spearfishing. We'll run you through fitting a package by fitting myself out, and hopefully Chicken will help us along the way. So the most important thing when fitting a fin is we need to get what fits you best. Everybody's feet are different. We have wide feet, narrow feet, long feet, high arch. So I'm going to fit myself out in a fin and talk you through it. I'm going to start with fins here. I've got 3 different fins to show you the different fits required with your foot. I've got my booties on here. Now when fitting the booties, this seam here is designed to be on the bottom of my heel, not at the back of my heel here. Because if it's the back of my heel, it will rub on the soft part of my foot inside the fins. So this is a good fit on me. I can tell because it's not pulling too hard on my toe. We'll start off with this fin here. Put my foot into that. Now already I can see that's too tight. I'm struggling to get my heel into the fin here. And once I do, it's too constricting on my foot. So I know that one's too tight. I'm going to try this one on this side here. This is quite a narrow foot pocket. The length is good. But same again, it's pushing through here. Now it's very important we don't have the fins pushing on top of our foot or on the side of our feet. After swimming around for 10 minutes, I'll end up getting a sore foot with that. So now I'll try this one here, which is a bigger foot pocket. And that's good on me. So you see when I'm fitting my fins, I don't stand here and go like this. This is no good for fitting a fin. I stick out my foot and point my toes like I would be in the water. And you can see when I do that, foot pocket closes up here. All of our foot pockets are rigid along the bottom here so they won't come up with their heel. And that's designed so when you're kicking to transfer more power. I've got no pressure points on the top or the side of my feet and it feels really, really good. Now we're going to move on to fitting a glove, and I'm going to show you how a glove needs to fit your hand. So I'll grab a large here for my hand, do my left hand, now as opposed to the fins here, you want the gloves to be reasonably snug because as soon as they get wet they're going to stretch. All the different models of glove here, it's nice and firm down each of my fingers there. It feels nice and snug on my hands, and I know when it gets wet it's not going to balloon up, and I also know it's not going to be too tight. So the large size is good for me. Your mask and snorkel are the most important part of your kit, especially the mask, because if you don't have a mask that fits you, you get water into your mask and it can fog up and you won't be able to see underwater. So I'll run you through how to fit a mask and how it should fit your face. Let's take my glasses off. We'll start with a few of the masks. This one here. Now when fitting a mask, I want to stick this onto my face and I want to suck in through my nose and hold my breath. If it keeps it sealed, it means it can fit my face. That means no air can get in, which in theory no water should be able to get in. I want to make sure any hair is out of the way. I want to make sure the hood of my suit is out of the way. See, this one here is not actually sitting on my face too well. It's too wide for my face. So I'm going to go away from this one here. I'll go to something slightly more narrow. I might try this one here. So it's important with my moustache here, I get it high under my nose as comfortably as I can. Because a lot of you guys out there with facial hair, if you try and seal it on top of your moustache, you won't get a seal as the hair funnels all the water into your mask. And see, I'm getting a good seal with this one here. It's a bit more narrow for my face. And one of the bonuses of this mask is it's got a nice soft big nose piece here for my big nose so it doesn't hurt under my nose there. We'll try another one too, because sometimes there are more options that will fit me. Here I'll try a frameless mask. Now these are really great fitting masks from the point of view that it doesn't hit your forehead. You see a lot of these other masks here have a frame in the middle of the mask. Now having that frame, some guys especially, not so much ladies, can protrude a little bit through your forehead here. And if you have the frame here, it can hit you on the forehead and give you a headache after a while. Whereas this frameless mask here, you've got the clearance. So same thing. This one fits me really, really well. Really well. But the only thing for me that I think I like this one better here is with the bigger nose piece, the softer nose piece. It's not pushing underneath my nose as badly. So I think I'll stick with this one here. Nice soft silicone and good with my big nose and still fits with my facial hair. Ooh. Our packages will come with our most common fitting mask, whether you're a man or a lady. A lot of our packages will come with a mask similar to this one here. Fits lots of guys. It's got the good big nose piece, so it's not harsh on your nose. It's frameless, so it doesn't hit you in the forehead. But if you do have any fitting issues, you're more than welcome to exchange your mask for one that fits you better. We have over 20 different masks to choose from and one to fit everybody's face. I've got my mask. Now I need to pair it up with my snorkel. Most of our packages come with our standard tube style snorkel, most of the time being bendy. So here I've got my snorkel here, no purge, because if I'm spearfishing it makes too much noise. I'm going to hook this onto my mask, either on the side of the head here or on the back strap, whichever you find preferable. And now I have my mask and snorkel ready to go. Now for those of you that are buying a full spearfishing kit, we've got to look at the spear gun now. Now the most important decision when come with this is the length of spear gun we choose. If we're in the further north we are, the longer the spear gun we want. The further south, we go for a shorter gun. Even if your mate has a big long spear gun but he lives up in Auckland or in Whangarei, if you're living in Wellington, top of the South Island or further south, you don't necessarily want the same length spear gun as him. So my choice for this area, for virtually East Cape North, I go for my 110cm spear gun. Now that's the length from the tube. So that's the length from here to the handle here, not including the handle, not including the muzzle, not including the spear. I'm going to go for a 110cm gun. It could also go up to a 120cm gun. But if I'm down in Wellington or further south, maybe the top of the South Island, all the way down to Bluff, I'd probably majority of the time use a 100cm all the way down to an 80cm. If I was diving areas like Kaikoura, Christchurch, down to the bottom of the South Island there. Don't buy a gun that's too long for you, just for the thought of getting a kingfish. If you're diving majority for smaller reef fish and dirtier water, go for a shorter spear gun. It'll be better purpose built for what you're doing. We've got our spear gun length sorted. Now we need our float and float line to go with our spear gun. This is important for safety and for threading your fish on. So here my fish shredder clips onto the spear gun like this, onto the shark clip. When I shoot a fish, I unclip this underneath the gills and pops out the mouth. Clip it back on and thread my fish along my float line all the way back to my float here, where I can unclip it off when I get back to the beach or back onto the boat. I'm using a 10 metre float line here because I don't plan on diving past sort of 5 to 10 metres. If I'm going to dive deeper, I'll go to a 15 or a 20 metre float line. I've got my float here, hard plastic with a flag set up. This means when I'm swimming, boaties know that I'm a diver or a spearfisherman in the water. It's important when you've got a flag on your float here, you need a ballast in the bottom. This one has a flooding keel to keep it upright so it doesn't roll over with the flag in it. It's very important to have this, so if you shoot a big fish, you can let go of your spear gun and fight it on the float line. Now I've got my wetsuit that I need to put on. These are open cell wetsuits in this package. So I need to make sure I put plenty of soapy water on the inside. Now with the long johns, I'm going to fold it down like so to make it easier to get on. And I want to make sure I don't dig the fingernails or my fingertips on the inside of the wetsuit. The outside is no problem. I want to make sure I use plenty of soapy water in my bottle here, squirt it all on the inside and slip it straight on, okay? And then we'll put the jacket on. So I'm just going to duck into the change room and I'll come back out with it on. So I've got my wetsuit on now, I've got the long johns and the jacket on here. So now I need to check the fit of the suit. I need to make sure it's hugging me everywhere but not being too tight. The most important part of my chest is make sure it's not too restrictive on my chest, which is great. The length is perfect, everything is in the right area. Got my knife pouch on my right leg here. Every one of our suits comes with a free knife, so I put my knife into here like so. It fits really good. Now with the design of the hood, this is designed to sit over the top of my chin here. So once I've got my mask on, there's not much of my face showing. So it's important that the hood is just over my chin like so. Now I'll show you how to take it off. So when I'm popping the clips off this wetsuit, I push the top part down, the bottom part up, and then I pull it out, like so. Same with the other one, out. Now I've got the jacket off, no zip, nothing like that. I need to get the suit off. So I fold this up once as high as I can. Remember what we talked about, we don't want to dig the tips of our fingers or our fingernails on this part here, the rubberized stuff, the open cell. But we've got this base part all around here we can grab. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my elbow and get it nice and deep in here like so. Grab the top part here, this is fine to grab. Now I don't want to grab this here. And I'm going to get my other elbow in too, and then I'm going to push up and over like so. And when I grab this, I grab with the palms of my fingers and pull it off. Simple to take my long johns off. I just peel this down and then peel this all the way off and the change room here. Just to reiterate what I was talking about the inside open cell of the wetsuit, how we don't want to dig the tips of our fingers or our fingernails in. So I've got a sample piece here. I don't want to dig my tips in because you see how I can put nicks in the wetsuit. I don't want this, okay? So it's very important, if I ever grab this, I grab it with the palms of my fingers, and then it's very strong. But the importance of this open cell is it sticks to my skin and molds to my body, so that I don't get water flow through my suit or in and out of my suit. Makes it very comfortable and a lot more flexible and lighter to wear. That's important. Now I've got my wetsuit, it's all wet. I've rinsed it off. Now I need to go hang it up in the shade or out of the sun somewhere. I typically like to hang mine inside out. So I'll hang it in my garage like this and let it drip dry in a nice dry, cool place. Don't leave it bundled up in your gear bag all wet. You'll get the build-up of bacteria and it can damage the wetsuit. So I'm just going to take this and hang it up. Since I'll be wearing a wetsuit, I need a weight belt. Naturally I'm buoyant by myself. Along with the wetsuit, it's going to make me even more buoyant. Now a lot of time people think, wow, it's a lot of weight to wear, I don't want to sink to the bottom. But the wetsuit's going to make you very buoyant. Most people will buy a 5mm wetsuit, two-piece suit. So in my case, I'm 85 kilos, so I'm going to need anywhere from 6 to 7.5 kilos on my weight belt. If I were up closer around 100 kilos, I'm going to need around 9 kilos of weight. If I'm getting over 100 kilos, I'll be anywhere from sort of 9 to 15 kilos of weight. As well as me being smaller, if I was 70 kilos, I'll be looking at that 4.5 to 6 kilos of weight. If you're a smaller person, have smaller weights so you can spread them out more. If you require a lot of weight, go for the bigger weights so you can fill up more on your weight belt. So here, I think I've got about the right amount of weight for me. I wear about 6 kilos when I'm going out deeper, because when you're in shallower, you need more weight because you're more buoyant. The deeper you dive, the less weight you need. So I'm going to take my 6 kilos on my weight belt with my rubber weight belt here. I can trim off any excess I want, but a rubber weight belt is very good because I can breathe into my stomach and the rubber weight belt will stretch with my stomach when I'm breathing. Lastly, we need our gear bag. If you're going for the full spearfishing kit, I've got my gear bag here to put all my gear into. I can fit everything in here except my spear gun, and it pays not to put your weight belt in here because it's going to be with your mask and your snorkel, which we don't want to break. A gear bag is important because otherwise you're going to end up losing one glove or one booty, or something will go missing. At least you can put everything in your gear bag here and you know where it is for next time.